welcome to the Talon Outdoors Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
This is Jesse Wiedemann and Travis Aiken. Y'all say hi.
Hi. Hello.
We are off-site today in Millette, South Dakota, right?
Yep.
Right now from Athol.
The big city.
And so the big city. How big is this town?
210 people.
210 people. What if we go to Chelsea? How many people are over there?
About 28.
28. Yeah. We'll be eating there tonight.
We will. Some good chicken wings.
Of the town in one big hall.
Yeah, it's so where we are today is in the roost. Is that what y'all call this?
It is the roost.
So Travis and Jesse are the y'all own the
Crater Lodge.
Crater Lodge, and so we are on our annual pheasant hunting trip, and there's a whole crew. You'll have people try to come in here because we didn't tell anybody what we were doing, and in the mobile studio here at the Roost. This is a cool place. Well, I'll supplement this show with I came in earlier and panned around, so I showed them all the hard work you did.
Nice.
Makes me wonder if you...
This is a new edition too. So this is second year you had this.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stories and stuff in here. I mean, Jesse's talked about the barn door over there before. Was your granddad's barn?
My grandfather's barn door off of the pole barn, all the metals off the pole barn, and
cool.
A lot of good stuff.
Some
of the old guns that came from Talon Outdoors.
Yeah. And Grandpa probably has no idea that the amount of alcoholic beverage that is served right here and for the presence of his stuff. So, guys, how long have y'all been doing this?
Well, I'd say originally, I think the first hunts I brought up were in 1998, 1999. And then we kind of made an official business in 2003. Built the original lodge. Well, didn't build it, moved it.
So this has been a family thing on and off over the years, but it's always been family. And y'all grew up together, right?
Yep. Best friends in high school.
Yep.
Yep. They and there have been stories told that won't be repeated here. So.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, we
protect the innocent.
2 years. This is our 5th year here, and 2 years ago, it snowed. Right, it was 2 years ago.
2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, it snowed, and you had the hot rod snowmobile
Travis's VBAC snowmobile.
Yeah, that was. We've got some video of that somewhere.
I've got it.
Yeah.
That thing was fun.
We just went right down here to the end of the street, and it's amazing what you can do on a snowmobile. It's probably a good thing we didn't grow up with snowmobiles. We grew up with ATVs and stuff. But no, this is how many hunts do y'all do a year? How many groups do y'all have to come through?
We'll have 5 this year.
5.
Yeah, 5 this year.
So y'all do other things. You are otherwise very successfully employed, and you've got lives outside of this. This is your hobby, your side gig, that kind of thing, right?
It's our fun.
Yeah. This is, and so do you enjoy it?
Very much. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. It's a legacy deal with Travis and his father, and with all of us coming through from the last 25 years that we've been doing this. And it's something to look forward to the future and build for different generations, and to keep what we love doing going for as long as we can, and build other things around it. We started with the lodge, and then we went with the motel, and then we built the roost, and on down. We want to get bigger and make sure that everybody has a place to come and enjoy themselves in the October, November hunts.
So if somebody's coming here and aren't hunting with you guys, are y'all going to make this available for rooms for them, that kind of deal?
It is. Last weekend actually was a weekend that some people from Wisconsin and Minnesota came in. They rented the lodge out. They've been coming, I think he said, for 13 years. And then the motel was rented out to Scott Bucklehide. He had a group that came in and that's been coming in with them for probably 15 years or so. So we do that, and after this week, that's what we'll continue to do through about mid-December. Okay. People that have families that want to come in and enjoy it, and we give them the opportunity to have a good place. And
there is an unbelievable number of the acres, unbelievable acreage here to hunt. It's growing up in Florida, if you get on, we can't see, 500 yards most of the time in any direction. I mean, you guys have been down there, you know what I'm talking about. It's just trees. We have forest. Here, you can see for miles. You can see for miles and miles. Oh, there's Fred. So, you can see for just crazy distances. Just the vastness of the corn here. And you were talking earlier, I heard you mentioning today that they've had just a crazy bumper crop of corn this year.
Up in our area.
Just unbelievable amount of corn grown here. And it provides, I mean, how many deer do we see to just today?
I saw 18, 20 different
huge deer,
yeah.
Huge habitat for the pheasant here. This is just unbelievable. I don't know that you can go anywhere else in the world and see this number of birds. It is the pheasant hunting capital of the world. We're dead square in the middle of the pheasant hunting capital of the world, and there is nothing like this.
The number of birds that I saw today get up on our last walk, and so I'm going to be supplementing with video footage because I had a body camera on part of the day, and anytime you saw me pull the trigger out of the bird was down, just go there. And
that's when he was standing next to
That's called editor's privilege.
So I'm going to paste together some images of some birds falling along with me shooting, and then so anyway, I produce this part of the show, so I will look good. And if I can get the footage.
Is that why you walking behind me the whole time?
Exactly. Yeah, so some of those birds, none of those birds were Fred's. Cause by the end of the day, he was dead-eye Fred, and he was dead on his butt, Fred, one time. And if I got that footage on that body camera of you shooting and falling on your ass, I will be putting that on there. I promise you.
I had a long way to go down, so it didn't hurt.
I had further to go in the shower the other night than you had out there in the field today.
I don't even want to talk about the other night.
A whole other
Everybody has
story.
that footage.
So
I started the day off stepping in a badger hole into one of the first corn. I think it was the second walk we did where I was in the corn, and I'm walking along there, and we've talked about this before. The corn out here is 9 foot tall, 10 foot tall.
I held my shotgun up in one spot, and the top of the corn was at the top of my shotgun in one place.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So
the cobs are just
and the wind's blowing today, so that wind's blowing 30 miles an hour today at times, and the corn stalks and everything's over in your face, and I'm just trying to go through the jungle to get there, and stepped off in a badger hole, and of course and I knew exactly what had happened because we've seen the badger holes in there before, except I wasn't looking at my feet. I was watching where I was ahead of me there, stepped off in that badger hole, and the first thought came to my mind was, I hope the badger ain't in here as I'm digging, as I'm trying to get my foot out of this hole.
At least there wasn't a skunk in there.
And that was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We walked this morning. The first place we walked, I think this morning, was where he got sprayed with the skunk.
I remember the first year we were here, and people go, "How'd y'all get hooked up to them?" Well, Cass Vickers invited us.
Yep.
And we showed up that first year, just two guys along for the ride, and now we have a group coming back, and on this trip, some of those
same guys,
more advanced guys in age and years are back here again and shooting birds again, and it's it's an awesome time. I actually Robert, my stepdad, is on this trip, and first day here he's
like a kid in candy store.
Oh man, he's having a blast. He is having a blast. He's it's the best time I ever had in my life.
I mean, that's all he's talked about. I'm coming back. Well,
it was a job to convince him to come, because he says, well, I can't walk, and I said, no, we have a place for you. You just put you down at the end, and so if you're considering a trip like this, you don't have to be in perfect shape. You do have to have, I think, what was it Junior was saying? I need some highly mobile people to go to the other end.
This particular. Yeah, I looked at my wearing my watch today, and when we got done today and got back, I was at about just under 8,000 steps today. So I got my cardio in, got my steps in.
I was wondering, that wind just took it out of me.
Yeah.
It beats on you.
Because I walked every I walked every run we did today.
Yeah. Oh, I did too.
And-
And like I said, right about 8,000 steps, which I'm pretty sure is a couple of miles or close to it.
Couple
Well,
months.
it's more than that, because you had an upwind walk.
Well, when we got
Every
out
time, yeah, every time.
and June said, this is about a 3/4 mile walk. Every time he said, we got any walkers, I got off the bus every single time. I got, I think, the next to last walk, I walked over and Travis said, Charlie, come up here. You want to get over here. You want to be right here. And that was a good place to be, until I caught up with him. And I got it when we walked and we're flanking, I got it with Fred. I'm like, I don't know why I'm shooting. And I don't understand why everybody doesn't want to be on the flank. Well, there's JD's brother. And there's a camera going. We're doing a radio show right now.
Recording the
So,
show.
you have some money? If you want to pay, I'll pause. I will edit out you coming in here writing a rubber check. Go ahead.
Kind of like Mr. Green, he's visiting, what's his name?
Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, Captain Kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
He's gonna show up.
It's the first time he's ever been speechless.
I know.
He must sound like his voice on camera.
Hello, Robert.
Howdy.
Yeah, if it was 8,000 feet on if you had 8,000 steps, and
You're
I had
probably 12, yeah.
16,000.
The same distance,
Same distance.
just a lot more walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on camera, here's Fred, but see, we're sitting down, Fred's standing up. Yeah. Do you need a booster chair?
No, I don't.
We'll pull you up here.
I feel like I just need my chair now.
That's, people need a perspective. He's taller than Charlie.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
You hadn't seen somebody for a while and they run up, shake your hand, give them a hug, and it's like, crap, I forgot how tall he is. And,
Yeah, he is not fun to walk through the CRP with if he's the one setting the pace, because he's got an unfair advantage stepping.
That's
well,
CRP
one
yesterday.
is the ability to step a long way, and the other is their ability to move through stuff that they grew up walking through.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like,
You couldn't follow me through the swamp, though. I would be willing to bet you probably wouldn't follow me very well through the swamp, because
I agree with that.
well, you'd be a fool to
Cat
try
kills
to
me,
walk through a swamp.
Cat kills me, feel
I would
pretty
just
good.
sink.
Yeah.
Old sticks off Alligator Point, you probably wouldn't know what to do with them.
But yeah, we had a great day today. We've limited out both days, but the just the number of birds, and we were talking about it. Only 1 year out of all the hunts that we've been on, and it's the three days per trip. One time out of what's that, 15? Well, tomorrow will be the 15th time we've been out in the woods or been out in the fields hunting, and only one of those out of 15 did we not get our limit, and that's the year it was so warm. It was really, remember the year it came up, and they had, you were getting over a drought, they had mowed the CRP, we were walking places that you guys don't normally hunt, you didn't have just because of the environment had changed a lot on you, or you had a bad year up here weather-wise, and we still, 2 out of those 3 days managed to get our limit, but that's amazing. That's an amazing average that 1 out of 15 that you didn't just have plenty of birds to shoot. So if anybody's thinking about doing this, you're gonna get your limit. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna and this is everybody's like, you go all the way up there. You're driving 22 hours to go hunt. Yes, without hesitation.
I think Bill said it was like a 28-hour drive from Tallahassee over to pick me up and all the way up here from point to point. That's counting breaks and everything else we did. And it's worth it.
And the stop by the airport, don't forget that.
And we did go to the airport. Yeah, so that was an extra hour or so.
Had to Uber
Thank you.
Fred.
And Fred, we hauled Fred's stuff here, and then he just took his little carry-on bag and jumped in the bus.
I like being treated.
So we were going to stage a kidnapping or something.
The problem is nobody paid the ransom.
What were we doing? We were at the grocery store last night and sitting in that black van, and you were still in there looking for whatever personal hygiene item you needed.
No, it's
And,
gloves for the.
Okay, gloves. Yeah. Okay. And so we're thinking, well, let's just grab him throw him in the van, tell him, yell, don't stop, and just throw you in there and slide the door shut and drive off. But we didn't know what the cops up here like, so have a good time explaining that. Because we'd have done that to you, you'd have thought it was funny. We'd have drove away, we would have got stopped on the side of the road, and then the cops, and then you'd be in the back coming, I don't know these guys, and then that would have got us back. So.
That cop would have had me for about an hour, and then he'd come back and
Can you take it?
he'd arrested me and then set y'all good.
Oh man, so what do y'all do, I mean, in preparation for this type of stuff? I know you work very closely with a farmer here locally that has a large operation. What can you tell us about, when people come up here, the first year I'm like, no, there's birds. I knew no idea about how it all comes together and what you guys have to do. But so y'all have an agreement with someone locally, and he leases out strips. And now the CRP, is that public land or is that private?
No, that's
land?
private.
It's all private.
Private, okay. So we're not hunting on places that somebody else can go hunt.
No, correct. No, it's all private.
Okay. And so where do people that don't pay for guides and go on private property hunt? Aren't there places they can go?
We have a ton of public land nearby us. Within the 30 miles, there's probably 15 or 20 separate spots just within 20, 30 miles of here that people can hunt. Some of them are a whole section, some of them are quarters, some of them are 80 acres, but there's stuff all over us. There's little sloughs, there's waterfowl production areas. A lot of that stuff is around here. I mean, it's just,
It's
it's
publicly
stuff that's
available
wet.
too.
Yep.
It's actually, you can find it on the Game Fish and Parks website. I think it's called CREP, right?
Yeah.
CREP.
Crepland.
Is it heavily hunted or it is?
Yeah,
A
the
lot of people hunt
first
that?
5 weeks is, you drive by a lot of these same fields that we see, that we know where they're at. You drive by and there's people in there, start the day, middle of the day, end of the day. But what's fun about it is, as people are hunting other areas, you actually see birds leave one area that's being hunted and fly right back into those same ones that just got walked an hour ago. So here you are, as you're walking in with your dogs and your buddy. Next thing you know, you're scaring up 3, 4, 5 birds that some guy just left and goes.
That was my question, because I felt like we killed every bird in some of these corn rows we went to. And I'm like, well, they're not gonna be able to hunt this again because we killed all the birds.
They'll be back in there. You can go back. I got a feeling that we could probably go back and hunt the exact same places that we hunted today, and there would probably be birds in them.
Yep, they move, we move. I mean, we know where they move from when we're in our fields. We know birds fly from here, they're gonna fly towards water. And then they're gonna feed here, and then they're gonna nest over here, and we kind of know where they're gonna be. And there's a lot of birds. Last night when we got done hunting, Eric and I went on a little roundabout way and on the other side of Camel's Cross, so that what we walked first today, just over on the other side of that slough where we hunted last year, where you shot 7 birds in 3.5 minutes walking the fence line.
Yeah, just walking up. Don't remind him of that.
The amount of birds that got up just in that little bit of CRP by the slough was amazing. I mean, it was.
Was that this year?
That was last year.
Yeah, that one.
When you were wearing the chicken hat.
Yeah, and that's when you guys think that.
That's the one where you know.
Someone yelled hen and you shot it.
No,
and I
they
said, that's
yelled
still a
rooster.
hen.
They yelled rooster.
But then I said hen.
I didn't hear the hen part. I had no airplane.
That was my fault. I said it was my fault.
For those of you that don't know, when you're pheasant hunting, you only shoot the roosters, and when there's a hen that gets up, you don't shoot it. And you certainly don't claim it if you did shoot it. And they're pretty easy. After the first couple of days, it's easy to recognize the difference between them. There's some of the bigger hens and some of the smaller juvenile roosters, I'm having to look a little bit to sort it out. So I just don't shoot at anything.
Saw a rooster get up today, had 0 tail feathers.
Yeah.
Saw that too.
So
the third hatch, so that would have been like a late June, July hatch, and they don't have a whole lot of color yet.
Yep.
So we went to the local sporting goods store, Sodak, over in Aberdeen, and then we went to a local taxidermist, Bob Brown, I think's his name. Went to his house, and we actually bought some taxidermy from him.
I got a jackalope.
Went in his basement and got.
Is it really?
And
7 of them.
course. Of
I'll
course
tell
he
everybody at home I shot him here.
I almost got one, but I like to get something from each trip just to put somewhere. But so you'll see in our studio, you'll see some sort of pheasant paraphernalia going forward, and anyway, so what's great is like walking the corn. So there's a big cornfield, and you don't walk the whole cornfield. He's harvesting the corn, and he'll leave out 30, 40 rows, sometimes a really long strip of corn, and the birds move to those spots.
Yep.
And then, so what we do, and I'll have video of this too, is you've got people walking the rows of corn, and then you've got people flanking the sides, and then you've got blockers at the end, and we're herding those birds. And it's like at the end, like the last one today was like the 4th of July finale. I mean, you get down there, you'll have one go off here, one go off there. And that's like people shooting off bottle rockets on the 4th of July before the fireworks go off. And as I got down to the end, it's just birds, rooster, 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 hen, 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 rooster. And everywhere you looked, and I'm looking over at Fred, and he's got this over and under, and half the time he's got it open, and there's birds falling around him. I'm trying to combat load the next round because I've just shot my 3 rounds, and I'm trying to throw another one in there and get it up and figure out how to, and it's just, JD's over there tooting, birds falling out of the air, and everybody's in this big circle. And as long as the shotguns are pointed up 45 degrees or more, nobody gets hurt. But it's
Although
just
you are
this.
allowed to take a low shot if you turn around, he's flying away from the corn pile, which I got one of those today.
The corn pile?
Corn,
What kind of hunting are you doing?
corn.
He's thinking about turkey hunting where he's at. That's what he's doing.
I live in 100 yards. So, but if he turns around and he's going, there's nobody behind you, you can take that low shot.
Yeah.
And I got one of those today. That to me is the most fun, game bird shot, is when he's flying directly away from you.
Yeah.
And he's low because he's, I just like to be low. Imagine that, but and that was a fun shot. I mean, I thought it was a fun shot.
The shooting today was,
It was in the wind. I mean, when it got away from me today and it was flying away, I mean, that bird was probably going 40 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Because that wind was 20, 30 miles an hour blowing across.
Did you see that shot?
Steady.
yeah, the
steady.
shooting today was very, very sporty. It was,
So the
with
birds,
wind blowing like
the birds that got up and flew into the wind were a lot easier to hit than the birds that got up and flew with the wind. Because the ones that were hitting
they were
up,
hovering, yeah, that's called
Stand
hover.
still.
That's
you
called
see them go up,
hover.
and they're kind of hovering. I'm like, I got that one. And then once they turn, and some of the ones that got up closer to the end of the corn rows and got a run and start coming back with the wind, they look like low-flying jet planes. They're like F-16.
I mean,
Shooting like that. But you hit one that was it was high, and it was highballing, brother. I mean, it was hauling butt. I'm looking at it, and I'm going, man, that'd be a boom. And it just sort of all the way down, like 100 yards behind everybody.
Yeah, that shot.
And I'm
I
going,
saw
that's a heck of
it.
a
It
shot
landed
right
like
there.
an airplane. I wonder who shot that bird. Well, man, that's a pretty good shot.
I've seen them. I've seen them do somersaults this week. I've seen them kind of hover down. There's one that got shot today, and the wind, it was flying into the wind. It got shot, and it just sort of the wings were out. And it just sort of, but nothing beats. Was it last year that we shot? The bird got shot. It got hit in the head, and it just started flying higher.
Straight up.
Is that the one you put 5 rounds on?
And I think
I
everybody
reloaded during that bird flying straight up in the air. I'm boom, boom, boom.
It was that other
Boom.
bird.
Yeah, he just didn't know it yet.
There was one yesterday. I don't know who hit him, but somebody hit him, and he did a somersault in the air,
Yeah.
recovered, and kept flying.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm like, man, that is a tough bird.
That's,
They are tough birds, and they're not.
yeah, you don't, you have to keep shooting them in. It's just like a junior that yells at it, shoot them till they're dead, shoot them till they're keep shooting!
Shoot him in the head. I'm
Yeah,
like,
shoot him in the head.
Oh, Bob knocked one
Okay.
down yesterday.
We
I
kept
saw
talking
him.
about that, doing that for like a saying on one of our hats or something. Shoot each other. Just shoot them in the head or shoot them till they're dead. One of the two.
Bob hit one yesterday, fell right in front of him. And he was grinning. I saw him take his first shot at the pheasant.
Yeah.
I had never seen an old man grin like that. I mean, he was just like
A kid.
Yeah, he was. He was a kid in the canister. He's just grinning. He's sitting over here in sweatpants. He got them boots on. And I think he's glad he didn't wear his Crocs. He had them on last night.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But he was sitting over there, and that bird, the first bird he hit, he killed him dead. And it was like, I think it was like one of the first shots. And he was grinning ear to ear. Then he had another one coming. He shot that one, and he was, pumping his fist. And he looked down at that bird, and that bird hopped up, ran away. He's sitting there scratching his head.
Yeah.
And that guy, he's going to go home, and he's going to be talking about this over in Jackson County for at least 3 months. Because I can hear, he's already started telling stories. Like, yeah, we were here. We saw the whole thing. The minute he gets home, he's going to grab everybody.
All of his local buddies, yeah.
And he's going to have them just sitting there holding court. And,
that's what it's all about. I mean, that's.
And he's going to be tying fishing lures for the next year and a half.
Oh yeah, he's got enough feathers.
Well, that's really what the fun part about this is, that you guys as hosts are just, as gracious as you can possibly be. You're fun to be around. We have fun. The hunting's a part of it. That's 3 or 4 hours out of the day that is a lot of fun. The socializing, the coming back, the talking about it, the celebrating the fact that we had a great time, and sitting around and having a drink and discussing it and shooting the breeze and picking at each other about missing, and those kind of things. That's what makes this just a wonderful time every time. Is this it's really more about that than it is the actual. And it's the whole package that makes it fun. We joke about the waitress at the restaurant. We joke about the
kinfolk.
Oh no, I mean
Everybody here seems to be related in this community, or very knowledgeable of everybody else.
Well, there's 300 of them, Charlie. They probably,
I was sitting here today and I said something about, so what's going on next door? It's like they're tearing up the yard. I said, looks like maybe they're working on it. And Jesse's like, oh yeah, so the other day this happened and this happened and this happened. I'm like, does everybody here know everything about everything that goes on in town?
It's a good thing I don't live here.
Pretty much, yeah. That's not the kind of town I need to live in.
But the good part is, when there's something bad that happens, everybody pitches in and helps everybody out. That's what makes our community strong and good. But they get in business, but everyone's there to help too.
And nobody gossips.
So I grew up here my whole life, and then I graduated college and snuck out of here. And I kept saying the same thing. It's too small. Everybody knows everything. Don't need to know my business. And what's weird is, my first year after I left here, all I could do was think about bringing people back here to go experience what I've done my whole life.
Yeah.
And the more people I run into go, so I've lived in New York, Illinois, Indiana. I'm not running from the cops or anything like that, but Ohio and that. And everywhere I run, they're like, where'd you grow up? South Dakota. You wouldn't have to know anybody who does any of that pheasant hunting up there, do you? Next thing you know, you meet somebody and they're like, hey, next time you go up, why don't you shoot me a line and I'll probably jump in playing with you or drive over with you. And that's exactly how we've come to where we're at. And it's just been, we've been lucky. We've talked about this. We've partnered up with another person in another group, and he brings some, I call it a little more high profile hunters with him. But as we found, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what kind of business titan you are when you're out in that field. We will pick on you, and your buddies will pick on you. And when you miss that shot, we'll all make sure you hear about it. If you make an awesome shot, we'll make sure you hear about that as well. And I think we've been lucky, and I don't know, Jess, I don't want to speak for you, but I think we've brought people in that we never thought would enjoy our facility and have went out going, I will be back, and I will be bringing buddies with me, because this is something I've never, ever seen. And for a small town kid, it was I thought I kind of made it and, moved to the big city in LA and all that. And you come back and go, actually, I kind of like coming back. This is really.
Well, and even the awesome shots. I mean, last year I shot a double and looked at Jesse and said, hey, did you see that double? I said, yeah, it would have been you would have shot 5 if you had a semi-automatic. No,
It's a true story.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just hampering
There-
yourself.
There are,
just trying to get my sporting chance, you know? I'm that kind of guy, I'm benevolent.
if you had a shotgun and shot 3 rounds, we would have come home sooner today, because you were on it.
Always, every now and then, blind hog finds an acorn.
We're flying you out of here tomorrow morning so we can actually enjoy hunting and not have you come back early.
I'll let you use my gun.
But just hope,
It ain't the gun.
be sure you take, don't steal a card.
Yeah.
The wrong card.
Yeah.
Don't steal the wrong card.
Yeah.
So last year, so last,
Your card last year.
so,
You end up now.
Just pick the Yukon.
I would not leave the keys in my truck again this year.
Yeah, don't bring the keys.
I forgot all about that one.
So we get up. So last year we had an arrangement where Fred was going to just get up in the morning instead of us driving into Aberdeen, dropping him off at the airport. He was just going to get up early, go catch his early flight, and take the what do you have, a Suburban or something? Is that thing still around?
Yep.
It's right.
So,
Right there, Charlie.
Which
Oh,
one?
there it is.
That's the silver one.
And yeah, it's that.
Well,
one.
it was
It's
dark
that
when I got up, so I couldn't tell.
So,
And they
you
told me it
were,
wasn't
weren't
much of a
you were
car.
driving
It's a nice
A black
car.
Yukon.
a Yukon, and so Fred got up in the morning and went out, and I guess the keys were in it, and he jumped in it and hauled up to the airport, and you came around like, well, where's my?
I was wondering why that one was there.
Yeah, where's
I came
my
over,
truck?
I'm like, how'd Fred get to the airport?
We're like, Fred, did you?
Yeah.
You stole
didn't take the
Travis's
Yukon.
truck.
And I'm in Minneapolis airport. I get this call from Charlie. He says, yeah, they're acting funny around here. One of the cars is missing. You know anything about that? And I said, no. Well, the car you were supposed to take is still here. How'd you get to the airport? I said, I took the car they told me to take. No.
2001 Yukon, 2023 Yukon. They're all the same.
It's just 20 years,
Well,
yeah.
we told him that was kind of, I said, be careful, the door don't want to
Yeah,
shut.
shut.
We were giving him all those the
Saying it wasn't a
hints
nice
about
car,
driving
and
the
I'm
thing.
driving that like, this isn't, what are they talking about? This is a nice car.
The worst part was probably when you went and got it. It took 5 minutes to get the seat adjusted back where you could fit in the dang thing.
Well, but it worked.
Fred got in it in the middle of the, it was like, like, what was that Tim Conway thing? Was it
Door phone golf. There you go.
This is door for shotguns out here. I looked down there one time and you were in a little bit of a slump, and all I saw was like from the waist up. I'm like, yeah, it looks like Tim Conway standing with his knees in a hole in that skit.
He'll get Fred some shoes on his knees.
Well, remember he used to do that thing.
Yes,
he would do it, and he would bend back.
Bend way back.
Well, I looked over one time and he was looked just like that because he had gone boom and fell on, but hit the bird. So
Well, it was either hit the bird and fall or miss the bird and stay up. And I chose to hit the bird.
and I am so glad that you did. Because I don't know, I'll have to go back and look at the video. I don't know that I had a video of you falling, but I certainly had a video of you laying on the ground and getting back up. As birds are flying, I'm like, nope, I'm pointing this camera this way.
So he could have been done in 2 walks today.
Yeah. But no, I just, so we get on the bus every day and
Short bus.
It's a medium sized bus.
It's a big bus.
It's
It's not a window liquor bus.
Yeah.
So and we
I
go-
saw some of the guys licking the windows, Jesse. I saw some people today licking
They
the
are,
windows.
they are.
Oh man! And you know you're in a real school bus with somebody that knows how to drive a school bus. When it's like, okay, we're going over there, and we're looking at the road. Okay, how far is that corn from the road? And all of a sudden we just
Tear out
take
across
off
the
across the
cornfield.
field. And we're just driving through the cornfield. And you're up underneath.
There's corn shucks flying up all around the windows. And I'm like, "Ew."
That school bus could go places most 4-wheel drive trucks probably
I
couldn't.
won't say it.
Well, the wet years we've been here when it was wet, there was some roads we went down that were basically underwater. I mean, you just get around the water's funneling out like on both sides of it, like a wake of a boat. But we sometimes had to walk a little further to get where we're going because it was, I thought we were going to get out of the bus in order for it to get to where it needed to go. But the soil up here is nothing like what we're used to.
Yeah, the dirt up here looks like you could throw pennies on the ground and grow dollars. I mean, it is just the blackest, richest looking dirt I've ever seen
Not
anywhere.
what I'm used to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're
definitely not what we're
White
used to.
sand and a little bit of clay and,
Put a supplemental trailer on the back send y'all up here to fill that dirt out, put it in my garden.
Yeah.
We did. We drove a van. Last year we drove a camper, and that was an experience. This year we drove our tour van, the Talon Outdoors tour van.
Yep.
That we have, and I'm sure I'll get some stuff in there. You'll get to see pictures of that. But then we pulled our Talon holsters trailer with all our stuff in it, and it was we went to Robert's house and pulled in his yard to get his stuff. And I thought, and I had poked fun a little bit before we got there, and I said it's going to look something like the Clampets. He's going to bring a bunch of stuff out here, and I don't know what we're going to be hauling. And it was a couple of ice chests and all kind of big bags but luckily the way we came up this year is we've got plenty of room coming, plenty of room going. I mean, so I went to the taxidermist and I'm like, well, it costs like $100 to get something shipped, but we got the trailer, so we're just gonna go in there and put some screws on the walls and hang it in there, set it down, or do something. And so the ability to get more stuff back and not have to worry about, when you pack and you get on an airplane, it's like how much crap can I fit in my bag? So
I don't worry about that, y'all take my bag.
yeah, and you shot, man.
No shotgun.
Don't
That's a
forget,
nice shotgun. We might stop at a pawn shop somewhere between here and Florida.
pay for the gas it takes to haul this stuff.
I got lawyer buddies in every state.
Because he needs them. Keep him out of trouble. So yeah, so I mean, so if somebody wanted to reach out, and now obviously we come back every year, and so we're always planning a weekend, and we've always got room in our group for some people, not just anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we let Fred come, so
They used up that token.
so if you're local to us or you're around and you want to reach out to us and talk about it, you can. I mean, we're easy to contact over the through our website and at Talon Outdoors Show at gmail.com. And in a minute I'll put JD's cell phone number up on the screen, and when he can't stop me. And but if somebody wanted to talk to y'all about a trip and to come up here and do something, either what's the best way for them to reach out and talk to you?
Send us an email at kragerlodge@gmail.com.
kragerlodge@gmail.com. I'll put it on the screen in text, because it's C-A-C-R-A-I-G-E-R.
Yeah.
C-R-A-I-G-E-R. Look at that.
L-O-G-G-E, yep,
About to get you.
yep, at Gmail.
At gmail.com.
There you go.
That's the easiest way.
Okay.
And how many people can you accommodate if you, as a group? What do you cut the number off at?
We like, 22 is the most that we would like. By the time we get our guides and everybody in there, that would be about 26, and it gets to be a really tight fit on the bus with any more than that. So group-wise, we like to be in that 15 to 22. It's hard to do a lot of stuff with less than 15 people.
Yeah.
We just don't have the land isn't. You'd be working all day for a little bit with fewer people.
Yeah. So the experience is all about camaraderie, hanging out, having a good time, good food. There's local restaurants that you can eat, or the lodge has places to cook. And we had Low Country Boil last night with shrimp donated from Southern Seafood.
Yeah, Southern Seafood took care of us, and that was incredible.
And Fred prepared the shrimp. Everything was just right. It was awesome. The night before we had some Texas ribeyes, I think it was, and kind of brought stuff in here. Still have some oysters out there.
Still got some oysters.
We got to shut some oysters tonight. I'm ready
We're
for
gonna do that.
We spent a half a day looking for a glove for Fred yesterday.
Yeah,
So now we've got a glove or two. I mean, it's we can't say enough about what an awesome experience it is. And this trip is largely on what led us getting a van to make trips on and do things. This is a long-term, trip. I mean, it's going to be annual. I don't foresee us ever not doing it until these guys just physically can't do it anymore.
Plan is to keep going and going and going.
So we'll be a bunch of old men together sitting around here. All right, so we're going to
We'll be the
block. We're going to block. And y'all can sit over there and talk to us. And get some. Let's just get some kids off the street up here. Hey, you run out here. And so, and your guys, tell us a little bit about the guys that you're using, because I don't want to forget those guys.
Junior, one of our best friends, my best friend here during the year all the time. He is on our school board. He's an insurance salesman, and he's a guide. He's a great guy. He'll yell at anybody.
How are his anger management classes?
He needs to re-enroll. Usually only because people are doing things they're not supposed to do.
And he's your hatchet man. He's the one that's, you're over there going, well, you know, you really shouldn't do that.
I'm gonna say that Junior has mellowed
He has a little,
in the last 5 years.
at least around us.
I think you guys have just learned.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been yelled at yet. So I mean, you know.
He still wants you to move around that horseshoe at the end. I don't know why people couldn't get that
No
message.
low shots.
You know,
Well, and the thing is he's directing things a lot of times. So he's down there and he's,
Yeah.
and you're sitting there going,
is that me?
Well, I think the hard part is he's
You're
got
talking.
hearing aids.
Yeah.
About
Half or more of us have hearing aids.
have hearing aids, and everybody's looking at each other going, what? And I go, what? What?
I finally yelled at me. I can't hear what you're saying, so come here. If you need to tell me to do something, come here.
well, today I'm sitting on the flank ready for us to start walking, and Jesse's saying something to me, and he's doing this and that. I'm not understanding. What he was trying to tell me was a rooster flew behind him.
Yeah.
He was looking at me and I'm pointing this way. And
Well, I thought he wanted me to move, and so there's no standardized hand signal around here. It's not like, no, this, no, it's none of that. It's,
Rooster.
so I don't understand. And by that time, if I turn around,
Military patrol, you know, and all that.
well, I did that with you today. You wanted you to move and come, and I'm like, oh, stop, and you're like, oh, I got it. So haven't seen Garrett this year.
No, Garrett had to retire. He went to go work at the Chelsea Senex. His father owns that, and he's running the whole kabang there. So he doesn't have time. This is the busy time of year for them.
Doesn't sound like retired to me.
An application.
He's not a probation officer.
He's not a probation officer.
He's on a leave of absence from the whole hunting scene right now.
Yeah,
He's
so
always
he's
been
with
fun
them.
to hang out with.
And then today you guys met Eric.
Yeah, Eric's been a good
Eric
guy.
helps us out every once in a while. He's from Warner, 9 miles away. His real job, he works for the railroad.
Yeah.
So an engineer on the railroad.
Yeah. So we grew up as kind of rivals, actually, in high school.
What kind of what?
We were rivals in high school.
Rivals?
Yeah. He grew up 12 miles north of here, which is, they're completely different than where we grew up. So,
Yeah.
they were big sports
12 miles
rivals.
away.
Yeah. They were big sports rivals all the way through high school. So, and still are.
It's kind of like the difference between Brackettville and Killorn. You know, it's
So
totally different.
so the industry, am I forgetting anybody, guide wise?
That was all.
Okay, so when you, in this area, when we came through here, we're looking, and obviously agriculture is pretty much everything and support processes for agriculture, but you've got massive amounts of corn out here just in mountains on the ground. A lot of that I understand is for ethanol production. Is that what the?
Yep, a lot of it will go towards ethanol, which then the mash goes to some feed for cattle, but that's a majority of it will go for ethanol, and then the rest will get shipped to the coast and overseas.
Overseas, a lot of export out of this area.
I was looking at, there's all these huge stockpiles of corn, and I heard last year talking about how it was scheduled for, contracts throughout the year going to the ethanol plants, because there's several of them around here, right?
There is.
Okay, and
There's what, 3 within 30 miles?
Yeah, Redfield, Groton, Aberdeen, and then Mina, so there's 4 within
a lot of railroads through here, hauling all that stuff.
Yep.
120 yards that way.
Yeah.
You can hear it at night if you're on the top floor.
Yeah. Shaky a little bit.
The 3 o'clock in the morning one's on time all the time.
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning here, I'm not moving.
So, but is there, outside of farming and fixing tractors, and is there anything else, and making ethanol, is there anything else around here?
We have a huge 3M plant, one of the largest 3M plants in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
3M plant.
They did the face mask, they do the double face tape, and
3M product, tape,
3M.
they do.
Speaking of,
Cool.
Yep, and I think there's a Twin City fan up there. Used to be, at one point there was a windmill factory up there. I think that closed
Wind turbine,
a year
Over a year ago.
We passed by some big wind farms on the way up here,
Oh, yeah.
coming up between here and Sioux Falls.
They've exploded in probably the last 5 years, 5 to 10 years.
Well, where we're at, we're not getting any wind farms, it's all solar. We're down in the Sunshine State, and all through the panhandle of the state and up into southern Alabama and Georgia, the solar farms are just exploding down there, same way wind stuff is up here. And I'll tell you what, there's some electricity being produced out there today.
So I got a question for you. We have seen 1 million snow geese this
Well,
trip.
they were just falling out of the sky dead. We went out there today and picked one up in the middle of the cornfield.
I don't believe I'd touch that. I'm just saying.
I thought it was a pheasant until I grabbed it and picked it up.
Oh,
I'm
that
like,
was, yeah, I saw that out there.
That's an albino pheasant right there. That's-
So I know that the regulations are strange up here as far as who can hunt ducks and waterfowl. There's a lot of birds here. There's a lot of snow geese here. We've seen these massive numbers of snow geese, and I know that they're transient. They come in, and as soon as the weather changes, it pushes them out, and then more move in or back and forth or whatever. So, not talking about necessarily when to be here for that, but what is the process if people from out of state wanted to come in? You guys can get a
Yeah, we can
a
get
stamp to
waterfowl
go, waterfowl stamp to go hunt as a resident. What about non-residents? If I know it's difficult.
Out of state, you have to, it's a lottery, you have to apply before July 1st for the fall season. Spring, I'm not sure, I think spring you can do the day of.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm over the counter in spring.
So they do it over the counter for the northern flight back to, just like they do in a lot of states, trying to cut the numbers down to keep the problem with snow geese is that when they're flying south, they're treated like any other waterfowl. There's daily limits, there's this, that, and the other. When they're headed back north, because of the severe damage that they do to the tundra, to their summering grounds, they have to be killed in vast quantities to keep them from essentially eating themselves out of a place to live. They they do the, I don't know what they call it, conservation. They actually call it conservation
It
hunt.
is, yep.
And it's virtually the limits are huge. Conservation. So talking about the conservation hunts, you can take the plug out of your gun. You can use electronic calls. You can use other means that are not legal to take them.
So these are the ones we want to go on.
Yeah, that's the ones that. But I'm assuming on the way back north, it's probably later on in the spring. What's the? Because it's colder than a well digger's butt in Idaho out there right now with a 30-mile-an-hour wind and 38 degree ambient temperature and the wind blowing 30 miles an hour. It's I don't know, what's your spring weather like?
Well, it's a March and April. I mean, it can vary. Sometimes the beginning of March, it's cool. And then where State Bees always was our basketball tournament, it would always snow. We'd get a boatload of snow, and then the next week it would be 65 degrees. Last year, out here, if you looked out the front window, about the third window up on the garage door is where the snow line was, all the way up to the road last year. And that was
That's
until
higher than
about
me.
April 21st.
Wow.
We had snow on the ground here
You
until
sent
April
me
21st.
pictures of your back porch and the
Yeah.
grill.
Yeah.
The grill was up as high as my garage last year. My grill was under snow, my Blackstone and my smoker, all of them. Because it snowed this time last year, and it snowed so much that they all got buried and I couldn't get them out. And I had to wait until spring when it all thawed to use them. So I couldn't grill or smoke or use my Blackstone all winter. It was a bad year.
Yeah, that explains
Well, we
it.
can sell you a flamethrower. And you can melt your way to it. You just a little diesel fuel, a little bit of gas, and just push the button, pull the trigger, we got them in the shop.
So would you say, back to talking about the snow geese, do you think it's a viable thing for somebody to look into as far as doing the conservation hunts and stuff up here in the springtime?
A lot easier than the fall hunt.
Yeah.
The spring hunt's a lot easier than the fall hunt, and it's just your timing has to be.
You have to kind of have to have your bags packed and ready to go and wait on the phone call. And when you get the phone call, you go get on the plane or get in the car and head this way and be here.
Yeah,
And
we have a gentleman that he'll go from northern Kansas and he'll follow all the way up through Nebraska, southern, South Dakota, flop over and keep following the whole migratory pattern. And literally he just called us up about 3 or 4 days before saying, I think we're gonna be in your area. And he could be here depending, again, on the weather. He could be here for a day. He could literally be here for 7 days. And he may bring 15 guys or 45 guys.
That's when you call us and say, hey,
Jumping
this is a good time to drop in.
Yeah.
Say hello.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
phenomenal to watch.
Yeah. Well, so we've seen more. The only other time we've seen as many, or close to as many, as the year that we were here a few years ago when we did get the snow and that front came through, and there was a lot of snow geese. I mean, it's essentially a giant goose tornado that you'll see out there in the field, and these birds are all the way from ground level up to above the clouds is flying these big circles coming in or going out of the cornfield. And we've seen a couple of goose-nados this week. A lot of huge numbers of geese.
I got video of those flights that you were talking yesterday, and just the V flight behind V flight behind it. I mean, it's and you can see some of the pictures we'll post. Hopefully, if I don't run out of time when I decide to do all this, but you just look out there in a cornfield and you just see what looks like snow out there, and it is nothing but birds. I mean, they're just everywhere. It reminds me of when we went to Argentina to dove hunt, and we pulled into the first field and looked out there and saw all the dove, and we were like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And I've never seen, geese like that. Where we're at, all we ever see is those dead Canadian geese.
Canada geese on the golf course.
Yeah, they're
18th hole and golden eagle. I mean,
they're-
you gotta wear like extra spikes just to.
yeah. But they turn wild as soon as they're not around people. I mean, because we've hunted them on
Yeah.
near civilization in Tallahassee. I'm not sure when we're in the city limits. So
Well, we were on private property in the woods, and we had permission to hunt on, and
Yeah.
just
we were
close to
right next to Tom Brown
close,
Park.
close to Tom Brown Park.
So, anyway, yeah, we were probably 200 yards from where I used to ride mountain bikes in the park. But they turn wild as soon as they
Oh yeah, they're just as crazy. You can't hardly get them away from you out there in the park. As soon as they leave the park and head to the lake or whatever, you twitch look up, move your face, twitch your finger or whatever, they're flaring off and going the other way. So,
So I mean, and we'll wind this down because the camera got hot a minute ago. Fred, if you go over there and blow on it while we're recording.
That'll work.
So anyway, technology's not our thing. We're doing the best we can, and I know the audio is probably not ideal, but I'll turn it up loud. It may not be real clean. All right, so we're gonna try to wind it down now. We're still working with technology, and it's beyond my technical assistant here's ability to operate.
that's funny.
So I just can't thank y'all enough for all the experiences that y'all have given us over the last 5 years, because we enjoy doing things together, and we would look for these opportunities. And when this one came up and we got to know y'all, I mean, it was all we could talk. It was all I could talk about when we left. And we got to get back. We got to get back. We got to figure this thing out. And you guys have become very good friends of ours. We stay in touch through the year, watch each other on Facebook stuff, kind of keep an eye on everything. So it's been folks, it's what happens when you get out of your box, out of your element, and you reach out into the world. When somebody invites you to go somewhere, try to go. I mean, what's the worst thing can happen? You have a bad time. The best thing can happen is something like this. I mean, this is.
We look forward to having you guys every year. It's one of our best hunts. We look forward to it. You love us. You love the dogs. You love the outdoors. It's everything that we look forward in our customers.
First thing we do is how's Ollie doing? And out there watching the dogs and of course. Ollie doesn't get into skunks and ignore commands and
We let Brody do that.
I really like that dog.
Ollie just doesn't like to bring me the bird. He's got to show off in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Then he'll bring it to me.
Yeah. So there are a couple of us are talking about trying to bring some of our dogs up, but we know that there's a system, but we really want to try. I don't want to bring mine, but if it doesn't work out, in the field, then put her in the kennel. But really like to. But folks, I just. Get outside, go find something to do, go find a service, get with Paul Tyre if you want to go fishing, get with these guys, call us and we can help hook you up with some things. our long-term goals are to start doing more of this type of stuff and bringing select people with us. I mean, if you're an idiot, don't call us. You know, if all your friends have shunned you from their hunting trips and nobody wants to have anything to do with you, don't call us. I mean, I hate to be hardcore about it, but we're only allowed one hand